Because this sense of doom is purely related to the belief to be a separate entity. And when this sense of doom disappears, then you have the ability to postpone activities that don't require immediate action, and then you are at peace. I think the difference is not as much between being and doing as it is between being and becoming. Becoming, what I mean by becoming is this experience that what is now is not good for me. And as a result, if I change it, later on, it will be better for me. And we have to be very clear about this process, because what is not good for this body-mind, it's very okay to investigate it and to take steps for it to be better in the future. But how to distinguish these legitimate goals from a deeper sense of lack, which cannot be alleviated by any undertakings, by any becoming into the future. One way to look at it is this, is to say, okay, everything that needs to be achieved in order to have a better condition for this body-mind, let's assume I postpone this activity for 1 hour. You see, for instance, because for instance I say, okay, I need to have a better health, so I need to exercise, I need to do this, to do that. Or I need a relationship, so I need to go out, I need to be in the world to meet people. Or I need more money, so I need a different job which is more rewarding, so I need to investigate it, to send a resume, right? So all the usual legitimate needs, they might be legitimate, right? But usually all the legitimate needs can be postponed by at least 1 hour, right? Unless you have let's say you have a headache, and then you say, okay, no, I need to take some Advil or whatever right away, right? And then you take the Advil right away or whatever. Or I need to go to emergency room, right? To emergency. So, but then you postpone everything that doesn't require immediate action. So now, if our idea of sense of lack was correct, we shouldn't be experiencing at that moment any sense of lack. You see?
Yeah.
But then we notice that no, we are not satisfied. You see? Although we are postponed any undertaking towards obtaining the desired objects that are supposed to put an end to our sense of lack, there is something else here inside, you see? And it is this residual sense of lack that would still be there, even if we were filthy wealthy, having all the relationships we want, being extremely healthy, extremely young, extremely good looking, whatever, all these usual objects of desire. And even if we had that, this residual sense of lack would still be here. And it is the hidden curse, the hidden sense of doom, which is always with us in our life. And it is precisely this sense of doom that can be addressed. Because this sense of doom is purely related to the belief to be a separate entity. And when this sense of doom disappears, then you have the ability to postpone activities that don't require immediate action, and then you are at peace. That's the benchmark. Are you at peace? Are you able to postpone any activities, any undertaking that don't require immediate action, and then be at peace and satisfied? See?
Yeah, I totally understand, and it's very helpful. And because the experience here again is like, I am at peace, but I'm so at peace most of the times, and I still get identified with, the person, and that voice is telling me, you should do something. How long do you think it will last? It's like you are running out of money. You are, it's like, look around. Everyone is doing something. It's like, and then I tell to myself, but I've never been more happy in my life.
Then apply at that moment, apply what I've just said. Because either at that moment you decide, okay, I'm going to work towards making more money or changing jobs or improving my health or whatever. I'm going to work towards that goal. And then this working will be interesting and I will be happy doing it, you see? Or helping other people, because that's interesting too. So,
yeah.
So, in other words, I can be active, and happy doing so, really happy doing so. But we have to first make sure that this sense of doom, although because we are a truth lover, we have experienced this peace which has no cause. We have to make sure that this sense of doom doesn't surreptitiously re-enter the picture, and poop the party. You have to make sure.
I think this is happening to me.
Yeah, because, for instance, you see, the moment we say, okay, why do I always fall into ignorance? And I feel bad about it. At that moment, we are in ignorance,
Yes.
At the moment, we have fallen back. When we are not in ignorance, this question doesn't arise. And if we notice that we have fallen into ignorance, we have to congratulate ourselves because at that moment we are no longer.
We noticed.
Right?
Yes, we noticed. We just noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. And this falling back into ignorance, we have to see it as an old habit. But the sooner we notice what has happened, and we know that at that moment we are back to meditation, you see, that we don't beat ourselves up for what has happened, because it was just, we know at that moment we are no longer in it. The lesser we stay in ignorance, the more unlikely it is that we are going to fall back into it again, you know. And the less often we fall back we relapse into it, the less likely it is going to reoccur. So that's how the process works. Ignorance gets forgotten in this way, through avoiding its repetition.
And do you think in this, let's call it process, although it's not a process because it's like it's a different subject, it's not necessarily related, but since we reached this point, the necessity of a teacher, like in the traditional way, considering that nowadays we have the internet, we have like talks like this, you know, the sources, because this was one of my, I don't know, the voices telling me, you know, it's like you cannot do this without a teacher. Like the physical presence of a teacher, you know, like in the traditional way. Can you speak also a little bit about this? It's like how?
I would say that there is not a one size fits all answer to this. Some sages never met a teacher. Other sages, like for instance Atmananda Krishna Menon, met his teacher only once. They spent kind of the night together in an abandoned house, and he received all the teachings there. Nothing happens by chance. So for instance, if the circumstances in our life make it difficult to meet our teacher in person, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the point I was making. It doesn't matter because already this communication through video is very important because first it's interactive. It's not like a book, right? We can ask questions, get answers. We can also, if we are not sure, you know, ask a question. Am I correct with my understanding or with my experience? And so we can get some confirmation that then eliminates, you know, some doubts and enable us to move forward in our life, you know, eliminate some residual doubts. Also, we were kind of already certain, right? That's important.
Yeah, yeah.
But there might be something. Am I correct? You know, I'm still correct. I know I am correct, but I'm still correct. And then you are told, yes, you're correct, you know, and then that dissipates a lot. So there are many elements. So basically, you know, in India, they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. How the teacher appears, it may take all kinds of forms. Maybe a book, maybe a recorded video, it may be an interactive video like what is going on in this moment, or it can be physical presence. Mm-hmm. If the circumstances of our life, as we were saying, don't allow us for the question of distance, availability, financial, whatever, you know, to meet the teacher, then we shouldn't worry, you know, because everything we get is sufficient. The only thing which is maybe missing is a true desire. You know, it's an overwhelming desire, like someone say, okay, well, I have the choice, either I go meeting the teacher, or I go on a ski vacation. You see? So again, that doesn't show an overwhelming
commitment
for the truth. Then you are not a professional truth seeker. Truth is seeking is a hobby, right? So then that's a different story.
That's very reassuring. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Or convenience, or I'm interested in the truth, but I'm not interested in traveling for it. Or I'd rather travel to Paris on my vacation to see the Moulin Rouge and or the Crazy Horse Saloon and instead I will attend this meeting with these traveling teachers wherever it is in town, although I don't think he's as good or as the one I would like to see. You see, these are different things we, as truth lovers, we have to deal with within, this type of conflict. But there is nothing to worry about. Everything is given according to our desire.